So we've already talked about your number one addressable audience is always your existing clients. That's often where the vein of gold is. The second lowest form of friction for client acquisition is working with strategic partners, because their clients are some of your best prospective clients. And then, of course, looking at your client base and saying, okay, where do I have some momentum? We all know the metaphor of how it requires incredible energy to get a train moving, but once it's rolling, we all know how inertia works. So look at your client base. Where do you have a collection, even one potential inside champion in a sector where you could go deeper? But remember, every investment of effort, as is the case in every other investment, culminates into compounding to your inflection point. Bottom line is, this does require imagination, innovation, and discipline. And that quote by Abraham Lincoln speaks to and reminds us of the power of delaying gratification, taking a long view into what you're doing. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. And what you want most is a thriving, durable business, sticky, loyal clients, predisposed to referring people. But when you narrowcast, it can go viral even faster. So speaking of narrowcasting versus broadcasting, let's get into this in a little bit more detail. First of all, you already have knowledge, credentials, designations. You already have expertise, a panoramic approach to not just managing money, but putting all the pieces of the financial puzzle together. A big driver of niche target marketing is building reputational equity within a specific sector and also developing intellectual property. And it starts with content. Become a content machine for whatever target market you choose or that you are already engaged with. This is profound because, first of all, content activates what is called permission marketing. Permission marketing is essentially asking somebody to ask for something, helping them opt in with zero risk or obligation to request some of your information. This is a Trojan horse to help you connect with a prospective client. It is also where the wedge begins in terms of helping activate for somebody how you compare and contrast to someone's current provider. Every prospective client that you connect with will have an existing relationship or some form of deliverable in terms of managing their money and managing their risk. So just activate that contrast. Content is a very powerful dynamic to this. But again, remember the goal: reduce friction, increase speed in terms of the conversion cycle. Where do you start with your content? You can see this is what gives you credibility. Remember, when you connect with a prospective client in their inside voice, you want them to jump to this conclusion. This person gets me. This person is speaking directly to me. This is what propels the wedge and, of course, that contrast to begin. Content will give you credibility. You also want to understand commonality. I mentioned earlier about having inside champions. I bet you right now, let's just say you have 150 or 200 clients. You have one or more clients right now who likes you, who trusts you, is in a sector where you could go deep, and you could establish that relationship with an inside champion to ultimately build out what is called commonality. Commonality is who are people who have similar needs, similar interests. And again, it just builds on itself. And lastly, there's affinity. Affinity is what are you interested in? What will give you fulfillment?